Keeping it right here with Donald Trump news. It's a viral video. So black man telling people, hey, look, if you really want to fuck over this government, vote Donald Trump. You got to vote Donald Trump in if you really want to fuck over the government. Vote Donald Trump in. Let me play his clip, and then we can react.
Video is to every single black person out there. If you really want to fuck over this government that has fucked over your ancestors, if you really want to fuck over this government that helped kill Martin Luther King Jr., if you really want to help fuck over this government that killed Malcolm X, that killed Huey, and that destroyed the...
I thought the nigga was about to bust some freestyle real quick. When the beat came in, I thought the nigga was about to start rapping. Hold on, let's get it.
Black Panther Party. If you really want to fuck over this government, I'm asking you to do me a favor. Go vote for Donald Trump. Can't you see how these fucking devils are running around here scared to fucking death of this man?
Bro, dead ass serious too. He doing this campaign speech right here. What's his name? American politics. He don't even spell that shit right. He spells politics with a K. I can't trust a nigga who can't spell politics talking to me about politics.
Because they don't want they fucking evil, sick asses locked up. So black people.
I don't know if I can trust a nigga in 2023 doing videos in a do-rag neither. Like he taking over for the 9-9-2000. He on this Joel Santana shit.
You really want to piss these fucking races.
Okay, so I get the gist though. Let me see.
For us for the longest, and it's been then. Vote for Donald Trump.
All right, so that's his message though. Okay. Porto, you take the lead on this one. What do you think my man said? If you really want to fuck over this government, vote Donald Trump. Dude says the black community needs to vote for Trump. What's your take?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how he puts 2 and 2 together. To be honest, a vote for Donald Trump will. I don't know. I mean, he's obviously not talking to the Mexicans, because he's directing it towards the black community. He's saying like, if you want to end racism, vote for Donald Trump. I mean, with all the racist shit Donald Trump has said, I mean, it kind of doesn't compute in my head.
Did he say end racism? I didn't hear that part. Did he say that?
Yeah, he said something about racism. Yeah. I mean, I think that's what he was trying to tie it to, because he's like, if you want to, get rid of the dudes that killed Malcolm X, killed Martin Luther King, all that stuff. So I think that's what he's trying to equate to it. I don't know how.
To be fair, he didn't say get rid of them. He said fuck them over. If you want to fuck them over.
Oh yeah. I took it as like get rid of them, but I mean like fuck over. I mean, what does that mean?
Fuck over is to make you kind of like have egg on your face. Get rid of you mean put you in the dirt, like Bud Crawford did Errol Spence.
Mm.
We'll never forget. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand how a vote for Donald Trump is to fuck over the government, but I mean, I think a vote for Donald Trump is to fuck over everybody. But I mean, that's just me. But yeah. I mean, everybody's. I don't know.
All right. Anybody who want to go?
Yeah.
Next? Go in order.
I mean, he said some true things to support a backward statement. For one, they're not going to allow Donald Trump to be president again. He was a national embarrassment. White people were so embarrassed of Donald Trump, they couldn't stand it. And if you crack a joke about Donald Trump, these white people face, they just go straight, especially where I am in South Carolina, because they love Trump. The state voted for him. And if you crack a joke about his behavior, those white people faces just drop. They are embarrassed of him. They have no intention of letting him get back in that White House. Because white people, for one thing, they like to take the moral high ground and pretend that they're better than other people's. You can't do that with Donald Trump in the White House clowning and making an embarrassment of himself and the whole world, for the whole world to see, saying all the racist stuff they saying in the country club that they don't want us to know that they've been saying. He's up there on TV saying it all, showing everybody exactly what they are, how they think and how they feel. They will never allow him back in that White House. They're going to convict him. It's going to be a misdemeanor because they also don't want a president in jail, but they're going to convict him so that he can't legally run again. He's not going to get in that White House again. But even if he was, that's no reason to misuse your vote. Your vote is supposed to be for the betterment of the country, not to play a practical joke on the country. And also you're putting somebody that's unqualified in an office where he's appointing Supreme Court justices who get in there and overturn Roe versus Wade. That's what you did the first time that you let him in there. He appointed all these judges on the state level as well as the appellate level, as well as the Supreme Court. And he's a lot of his judges that he appointed hundreds of judges while he was in there. And those things, the rulings that they're making, are turning this country upside down. They're over there in Mississippi bringing back goddamn Jim Crow. So you can't just cast your vote aside to make a ridiculous point to screw somebody over. That's not what your vote is for. So he said he made some good statements to support a ridiculous action. So he was probably paid by somebody to say that. I guess he's a compensated endorser. It needs to be running under the screen. I don't know if Trump Foundation paid him to say that. And maybe some of these dumb coons will actually follow him and think that's cute, but it's not.
All right. Passionate bliss. I appreciate it. Haplo, you ready to go?
I was born ready.
Let's go, Canelo.
Let me say this. The guy's statement, I'm not commenting on anyone else on the panel and what they said. The guy's statement in and of itself is ridiculous. Okay? In order to break the racist system, vote for Donald Trump, who all the racist people in America support. Like, that was the downfall of fucking Donald Trump. Donald Trump, had he gotten in, which he did, had he gotten in and then said, hey, I'm not with all this racism shit, he would have been like maybe one of the, like, a good president. But he didn't do that. He lets these people follow and tag along with him, and he dog whistles constantly to these fucking racists. So why this guy thinks that voting Donald Trump in again would help racism is beyond me. He's an idiot, and he needs to get a new look, by the way, because he looks like shit. He looks like second-rate fucking corrupt from the dog pound.
Yo, he Walmart version of corrupt.
Doesn't
value.
he look like him, kind of?
Great value.
A
Great
little
value.
bit.
All right. I got you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That was it.
All right. Clips, you on deck.
I'm going to be very brief. The only way that we advance as a society is to advance as a society. Many things that we say, especially amongst our circles, are about among the people, but understand that the Black diaspora is the human diaspora. I am an American. The very concept of voting to fuck up my government is seditious on so many levels, and I don't even like that shit. You need to fix these motherfuckers. You need to fix and get the corruption out of the government and bring the power back to the people. And putting the bull in the china shop is not the option. They tried it once. All we got was a shit show and a sitcom with a few very divisive points scored for the far right. That will probably throw our country further away from true unity and cohesion than pull us together.
I agree.
Okay,
You can get on your camera and you can get on your cam like he did, put up your middle finger and say screw you. You don't use your vote to say screw you to people.
Let's think about it. When you like say in your city, let's say we vote local crackhead Larry in as mayor of our city. All right, nigga, don't start tripping when the trash don't show up because Mayor Larry ain't paying nobody. He spoke it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you feel what I'm saying? Don't start tripping with shit in your city, start getting fucked up, and start talking about, oh man, the government, whatever. This ain't a joke.
Yo, can you hear me?
I can't disagree with my good brother on that one.
But this is what I was very interesting, because my option is people that push pedophilia, people that's racist. So which one do I choose? That's my choices.
The point is, that's your choice.
All right, so since it's my choice, then if I choose my choice, then why do people get so upset when people choose their choice? Because that's usually what happens in these kind of conversations.
I'm not mad at anyone voting for Trump, bro, but I feel like Trump fucked up by not disassociating himself with the racist people that support him.
Okay, that's cool. Just think about this, though. So how can I, in my right mind, say the guy that assisted with the crime bill that locked my people up, I should vote for him?
Can you speak up a little bit, man? You sound like you laying in bed, man.
No, I'm not laying in bed. Can you hear me? It's not me.
A little bit.
Is it me being the coon voting for the guy that passed the crime bill, that helped pass the crime, or is it me being a coon voting for the guy that didn't pass?
KP, can I propose that instead of putting yourself in a position where you could be a coon of any kind?
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck is that, bro?
No. The reason I'm phrasing it that way.
I understand what you're saying. Let me answer. Instead of that, why don't we get more active within our politics and put active live dogs, young, vibrant people? We talk about all these old fucks that run our government.
That's the problem.
No, stop. No, you're not doing that. You put it to
let them finish, KP. Let them finish in full.
You put it to a position where we don't want Joe Biden as to get the Democratic nod of sitting president or not. And if you're a Republican, you push it to where you don't have Donald Trump as your nominee. And you really push these candidates in your local, regional, and then on a state and national level. That is how you do that. But no, we sit back and wait and we judge and we bitch when, you know what I'm saying, you got to have some skin in the game when it comes to this shit, because no, it's not funny to just send whoever the fuck in there who can just arbitrarily make decisions that will affect not only you, but your grandchildren.
Okay, the decisions that's been made before in the 80s, 90s, and 2000 has put the country in the state that it's in. So it's amazing to me, though, because the media points things in a certain manner every time. They do this all the time. I'm not saying I'm for Trump. I'm not saying I'm for Biden. I'm opposing the thought process that if I pick Trump, that I'm this, that, and the third because I picked Trump. Well, what am I if I pick Biden? Tell me what I am if I pick Biden.
If you pick
I'd like to know that.
All right, so let's take it to the extremes. You're a coon if you pick Trump. If you pick Trump, you a bucket shuffling goddamn coon. But if you vote for Biden, you are a corrupt, morally ambiguous, probably gay motherfucker. Is that what we at as a nation? We really want to play this game? That's what I'm saying to you. Now, do we really? We're going to these extremes. This is where we're at. That's what I said. We're going. So let's not do this. Let's not do this as a nation.
Yeah, there really isn't any room for 80 and 70-year-old dudes to be running no country no more. They really don't need to be. They really don't. So they got 70 and 80-year-old dudes running the country. Neither party has produced anybody that's worth voting for. They got these dudes in the consciousness, and they basically double ARP members and senior citizens.
Well, they got no. I refuse to believe that. I'm not a fan of human beings in general, but I do believe that there are some exceptional candidates on both the left and the right side of the wing. And here's another thing. If the people are so dissatisfied with politics, why don't we break the paradigm of the dual party system? Simple things by active voting. and you're in a local neighborhood in Missouri, KP, what you could easily do is if you get some brothers together, you know what I'm saying, whether, really team up. And if you could say, we got 250 to 500 votes within this ward of the city that we all agree, we have our little meetings on the issues, and we say we're going to vote this way or that way. So if we can guarantee this many votes, I'm just talking in the bullshit hundreds on the city level. Guess what? That candidate's got to really come and talk to you and address your concerns. And actually, you could have sway and put up your candidates and move them without making a big deal about it. Like, yeah, this is KP's guy. No, this is a candidate that is pushing a line that you agree with, that you can guarantee you can put that. It's like promoting a show. Mark can film me on this. I can guarantee I could put this many asses in this seat. Things start getting some leeway. You know what I'm saying? You start getting some say so.
But to bring it back full circle, though, this guy, like Passionate Bliss said, he's not even talking about policy and things like that. He's talking about, if you want to fuck these people over who killed Malcolm X, vote for Donald Trump. That's what he's saying. He's not talking about policy, KP.
Yeah, I know dude's not talking about policy, but what it does is that video just inflames people and makes them have rage because of what he said and the manner that he said it. So it makes them take the other position because of what he said. It gets a reaction out of people. Social works to just sit down and deal with policy decisions based on not whether or not you're a party member of Democrat or Republican, you just based on policy. So if you vote on policy, that's different. Most people don't vote on policy. They vote on what their mom and them voted on back in the day. That's how most African American people vote. To say that's not the truth, you must be lying to yourself.
Well, that's very true. That's why we're approached and we're dealt with as a monolith, because especially depending on the region, you're still you may not live a 1950s, 60s lifestyle, but you still adhere and walk within a 1950s church law by good Southern Baptist, whatever, Negro mentality and policy. You're going to vote what Mama did. You're going to do what Big Mama would have did.
In general, I think most people vote based on what the party stands for. Republicans are standing for rich people getting richer and the poor people getting poorer. That's what Republicans stand for. Democrats.
How doesn't the Democrats stand the same?
Let her finish. Let's not be reactionary.
So you're not going to win with the Republican Party. So for most people, it's just divided that way. Which one cares more about the masses? And as a platform, the Democratic Party cares more about the people who don't have. The Republicans don't give a god darn about people who don't have. And so I think in general, Black people, that's mostly the way they see it. Most of the Black people that I know. Now, different as far as on a local level, that's really what's going to affect your day to day. And the people that I'm around and that I know, we're actually more focused on our local politics and our state politics, as far as that goes. But you're looking at which party is going to do the most for you and the people you know. And that's really the big divider between the two parties, as far as the average working person is thinking. And that's the way they vote.
All right, now go ahead, KP.
I think that's a blanket statement as far as that goes, because
it's audio.
Can you hear me?
It's staticking real bad now. Why are you talking?
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
All right, I switched it. Oh man, I lost my train of thought, but it's just
she was talking about Republicans being for the rich getting rich for themselves, and the rich getting richer, and of course they poor.
I mean, that's a flawed argument, because I'm watching Joe Biden spend 40 years in the Senate. I don't know when the last time he probably paid for something himself that he didn't pay from taxpayers' money. You see what I'm saying? So like, it's a flaw.
Or his
it's a
son.
waste of time.
Let him finish out. Let him finish out, please.
Oh, I was just trying to add on. Or his son getting money from China for him. Go ahead.
Yeah. It's a flawed argument. It's a waste of time. If Americans want socialism, then that's what they'll vote for, because that seems to be where we're going. If you pay close attention to what's going on, socialism, Marxism, that's where we're going. That's where we're at. And if you know what they mean, if you don't know what they mean, look them up. But that's where we're headed to. If you want universal basic income, that will give you that. But then you got to comply, and then you'll have full-blown flat fascism, basically. So if that's what you want, that's what you're gonna get.
That's cap, man. Get out of here, man.
Okay, go ahead.
There's other countries out there that have that right now, and they're not fascist countries.
Wait, other countries that have what?
Other countries have like universal health care. That's not a fascist thing.
No, not that. But what he just said was golden.
Man, these folks. Okay, go ahead.
Marxism leads you nowhere but to hell.
That's not what. That's. I get what you. I get. Yes, Marxism that, but what he's describing is not Marxism.
Yeah,
that's the fear that they put in people's head to get you to vote against your own interests. Even even with healthcare. Let's just keep it at healthcare. We vote against free healthcare all the time. And guess who's voting against your free healthcare? People who get free healthcare for the rest of their life. Those government officials get free healthcare for the rest of their life while they telling you we can't do it. Or they tell you, hey, that's gonna make us a socialist country, or to have doctors and nurses thinking, oh, you're not gonna make no money under this system. It's a documentary out called Sicko by Michael Moore. I challenge y'all to look at it. Great documentary, man. And basically, in a nutshell, what I just said is what that whole documentary is about. People vote against our own interests, and we think that's a bad thing to have global health care for everybody. Like, you shouldn't leave the hospital with a bill for your baby. Okay, you said we can't get abortions? All right, we can't get abortions. Who's gonna help me pay for this motherfucker?
Okay, global healthcare is one thing, but the socialism that people want in America.
Stay with me on this, though. Keep it on the healthcare. Okay. That's something that we vote against our own interests all the time, because people are told that if you're doing this, you're gonna be poor, or hey, if you do this, man, if they give you global healthcare, man, that means they would have made you had to get the vaccine and all this kind of, like, it's just.
Well, I will say this.
I pass the mic. Go ahead, Hap, and pass it. We got to leave it here. We got to go to the
healthcare. As somebody who works in healthcare, I'll say this. What will happen is if we get, and which is why, and I'm speaking as someone who's always had healthcare, and I realize that predisposes me to be less concerned. But I will say this. If we actually were to get globalized healthcare, we will have the same issues that they have in other countries like England, that the healthcare system has become so saturated with new participants now who are coming because they have healthcare, that we now have to wait, a year to get a dental appointment. We now have to wait, 2 and 3 years to see somebody about our cancer specialist. And we have people who actually come to this country for healthcare because they're just so bogged down in their country, because everybody can get it. They're so bogged down and backed up that people are dying waiting to see specialists for certain conditions. And
people die over here with no treatment at all, though. Like you,
Mark, you're not listening. We have treatment here. She's in the healthcare industry.
But I'm just saying,
and I wasn't happy. Or my wife
isn't. That's where a lot of us see. Because as a healthcare provider, we're not ever worried about our jobs. We're not ever worried about not getting paid. That's nothing we worry about ever.
Job security, huh? Job security.
What we worry about is that is the fact that the healthcare will become less effective, and we'll see less people getting better, because these people, that by the time they get to us, they're in such poor shape that we can't help them because they had to wait a year or 2 or 3 to get in there. And you see higher, death rates, higher mortality, higher, issues that we're not having now in that way, because the healthcare is not that saturated the way it would be if it was national healthcare. But that's the only thing that I see. And that's the only reason why I have a tendency to not vote for it, because I feel like it's going to bog us down and make it worse over here the way it is over there. Because you do have people flying in here to this country, coming here, foreigners, because they don't have to wait that long to get here, because they have the money. They have the money.
But those same people, but those same people fly to England too. And if you got money in England, you can pay to jump that line. That's the universal healthcare. Just means you're guaranteed you will get some kind of care. But money always jumps the line. But we got people over here that, even in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, they can never afford that treatment. They'll never be able to do it. They don't even last that 2 or 3 years to get to that appointment. They dead already over here. Like, they do have a long.
Bro, you don't think that happens over there?
They have. they can't go at all though. They at least have an opportunity to even know what's going on.
Bro, everyone here has the opportunity as well.
That's not true, bro.
They do.
That's not true. Well, how about this? Just to be fair though, I just want to do a stat for you for the record. I know Passionate Bliss like stats, facts, and data. The UK has a longer life expectancy than America. So